Hi, everybody. It's another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin. As always, I'm joined by my cohort, Mr. Chip Chirimbus, handicapper extraordinaire, residing in South Florida. And I understand you're going to be there for quite a while. Chipper, is this a permanent thing or it's still
Well,
up in the air?
I'm returning to Las Vegas next week for a little while, but I'll be coming back to South Florida. It's really nice. I'm very comfortable here, and I'm really enjoying where I am. I'm right on the water, and I can get the same information with the internet that I can get out there. So
Yeah, no
I'm ready
doubt.
to go no matter where I am.
Yeah, I mean, with no disrespect intended to anybody, including yourself, I just think that because you're located in Las Vegas as a handicapper doesn't make you a
Yeah,
pro. You know what I mean?
right,
There's a lot of
right.
guys who go out there and think they're a pro, and they come home and they're living in a cardboard box, for lack of a better phrase. Anyway, we're going to take a look at game 2 of the Atlanta and Milwaukee series, Chipper. We're taping right now on Thursday, the 24th. The game takes place on Friday, the 25th. So keep that in mind. The lines are subject to change depending on when you view this video.
Right.
But as we speak right now, the Milwaukee Bucks, a 7.5-point favorite. The total 226. Chipper, Atlanta is just shown a lot of resiliency, and they showed a lot of heart and character in game 1 of this series, winning 116-113 as a underdog of 8 points to take a 1-0 lead in the series. Your thoughts and observations on what you may have taken from game 1. And I understand you like a total in game 2.
Yeah, I really do. But getting back to this Atlanta side, they've really come on strong. They're shooting, they're playing with a lot of confidence, and they're stepping out. And it was the beginning of the series. I not this particular series, but in the game 1, when Milwaukee was such a high number, there was such a high point. I was really misled. I said, well, Atlanta has had such a great run, and I expect them to come into Milwaukee, and maybe they're not going to quite have the same edge that they had before. And Milwaukee, after surviving, comes home. I thought the Bucks would decide, and I was wrong. And I had hit 8 straight NBA best bets, and now I've lost a couple in a row. Major League Baseball is still cruising along, but I was really disappointed in what I saw in game 1 between these two. Now, I do have a side that I really like here, and I can give you all my stats and reasons why, Ross. And I think I have a solid foundation for taking the total here. Atlanta, who this season has gone 48-36 to the over, and conversely, on a mirror image, Milwaukee is 38-46 to the under. And the anomaly here is that Milwaukee led the NBA in scoring, and yet they played more unders than they did overs. And when you look at this matchup, Milwaukee is up against the wall, and they really need it. And they're 7-0 to the under after a loss. And I think that's key because they realize that they have to put it together, and they're not going to be able to run and shoot with this team. And, Atlanta has gone to the under 4 of the last 5. They've gone under 6 of the last 8 on the road. And even though the over is 18-6 in the regular season meetings in Milwaukee between these two, I think this is a solid under because Milwaukee has gone 6-2 to the under in their last 8 overall. And the last 5 meetings between these two, 4 of the 5 have gone under. The idea that Milwaukee is down and they have to come to play and that they're 7-0 after a loss to the under, I think they're going to sit and make sure that they don't get in a position where they have to run and gun with this Atlanta team. I think they're going to look to conservatively hold the ball and keep this a low-scoring game, well, lower than they normally do because they are the leading scoring team in the NBA. But I think they realize that's probably their best chance of actually coming out and winning this game. As far as covering the point spread right now, I really don't know. I was very disappointed in what I saw in game 1. I thought with the line that high that the odds maker was saying that go ahead, take Atlanta. And Atlanta won. They won the game. And, they've just been great. I mean, this Young, we know what he's doing out there. And, so I just think that Milwaukee's, in order for them in their mindset to win, they're going to have to come out and play some defense here. And I think this game stays under the total. I'm not quite sure about the number of as far as the point spread on the winner and loser straight up, but I think this game stays under the total, Russ.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good case. Take away their performance in game 1 in which they allowed 116 points, and I'm referring to Milwaukee.
Right.
They've really surprised me over the course of this postseason. and how well they've played defense. They've held opponents pretty much, for the most part, in the low 100s and high 90s on a majority of occasions. So, yeah, your point is well taken, Chip. I like the side in this game. And again, people will accuse me of the zigzag theory here, whatever it may be. But I think Milwaukee comes back and comes back strong here, Chipper. As a matter of fact, talking about going inside the numbers, this is a Milwaukee team, like I alluded to, off a 116-113 home loss, is a favorite of 8 points in game one. Milwaukee this season, 6-0 straight up and against the spread, is a favorite of 5.5 or greater when they're coming off a straight up loss as a favorite of 6.5 or greater. So basically in that same parameter range, they've gone 6-0 straight up in ATS in that situation and won by 14 points per game. In NBA playoff history, Chip, I know you're going to roll your eyes with this one, but for those of you who like these technical betting angles, which I do, I don't marry myself to just that specific category, but when I see an angle like this, it certainly catches my attention. Ran it through my database. Since 1994 postseason, any game two home favorite of 7.5 or greater, that's coming off a home favorite of 5.5 or greater, straight up loss in game one of the series. And they have a win percentage of 639 or better, which Milwaukee does. They're at 642, and they're playing an opponent that has a win percentage of 648 or less, which Atlanta does at 600. Those home favorites bouncing back from a home favorite straight up loss in the parameter I just discussed in game one of the series. In game two, they've gone 18-2 against the spread. That's 90% since 1994. So a great situation for the Bucks, not only league wide, but also team trend wise, as far as what I just alluded to, them as a favorite. It's 5.5 or more, coming off a favorite loss of 6.5 or more. So a lot of good things right there, Chipper. And you know, the best part about that is it helps in regards to justifying your underpick, because those 20 favorites in that situation in game two that I just described in that betting angle, they held 18 of their 20 opponents to 99 points or fewer. So that,
well, you know what, Ross, that's a tremendous stat that you just gave it, and I'll tell you, it really helps me in trying to decide where I'm going to go on the side, because I was so afraid after losing game one the way I did to repeat and come back. You know, you don't like chasing losers. Yeah. Nobody likes to do that, and yet if there's a bona fide reason, there's a verifiable reason why we should be on the Bucks here. So I could understand you're really liking them, and there's tremendous stats. And I appreciate the fact that you're telling me that they're keeping their opponents to 99 points a game as well in this situation, the game two after a loss.
18 of the 20 games, the favorites in that situation, home favorites, I should say, have within those betting parameters, have held 18 of those 20 opponents to 99 or less. So,
well, I may have to play a parlay on this one. Something I don't like doing, because I really think what you're giving me makes a lot of sense. And I listen. If I can take him in game one, I could him in game two.
It's funny that you mentioned your thought process in game one, because the same thing ran over my mind. I said, why is Atlanta an 8-point underdog here? This is a trap. They've been playing so well. They've been covering as a dog. Milwaukee coming off a couple series wins, won 7 games against Brooklyn. I thought, it had to be a letdown for Milwaukee in one sense, because you're coming off beating the team that you knew you were going to play in the second round, and you overcame that hurdle. I was looking for a letdown, and then at the same time, but why -8? And I end up going with the under, and I lose that. So, these unders, these big leagues.
We should both bounce back now.
Yes, absolutely. I like the Milwaukee Bucks to bounce back as well. And like I touched upon, Chipper, your under's looking pretty good based on that betting angle, because those home favorites coming off their home favorite loss in game one and playing in game two, again, 99 points or fewer in 18 of those 20 games they've allowed. Chipper,
Yeah.
Tell the folks where they could find you and how you've been doing.
Well, I've had a great run at the beginning of of this NBA playoffs with my megabuck plays. That's where I like to hang my hat and my best bets. And when you're only having one game each day, almost every time you post a game, it has to be a best bet. I've lost the last couple in the NBA, but in Major League Baseball, we're cruising right along after hitting 8 straight. We dropped 2, and now we bounced back and won 3 in a row again. So leaderboard on a number of different websites as far as having best bets out there. And you know how I like to play it. I'd rather have the A play, the single strongest play each and every day. So, but I think if you can get to me at chipwins.com, or you can give me a call at 702-931-2447, 702-931-CHIP.
It's a gentleman who's been around for, I hate to say this, he's probably painful to hear it, but 40 years in this industry. Longevity speaks volumes, folks, and there's a reason why he's lasted this long. You could find me at rbwins.com, currently still number 2 in the NBA, despite last night's loss in the national rankings. I go by sportscapping.com. They monitor 75 different handicappers in the NBA. I'm number 2 in money earned. As a matter of fact, my dime players this year in the NBA, they're up $19,010 for a $1,000 investment at the beginning of the year. That's a pretty good return, folks. All my 10-star top plays, like Chipper, he calls them mega bucks plays. I call them 10-star top plays. Same thing. 61 and 39 with my last 100, 61%. My Major League Baseball dime players this year, they're up 14,500 and change. So it's been a good run. You can find me at rbwins.com. You can find Chip at chipwins.com. And reviewing again our free picks for the Friday, June 25th game between Atlanta and Milwaukee. That's game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Chip Chirimbus likes under 226 in that game, where I'm on the Milwaukee Bucks, latest 7.5. Buy it down to 7, folks. It's not a sign of weakness. Nothing irritates me more than losing by a half a point in basketball. Buy it down to 7. You'll pay a little extra juice. Remember, the juice only counts when you lose. You only need to catch a push one time by doing so in 11 tries for it to be worth your while. It's a good safety haven. It's not a sign of weakness. It's smart sports betting. Any final words, Chip, before we leave?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I have one thing I'd like to say. After the Hawks, this is why I'm in a little quandary here. After the Hawks beat the Knicks, I told a couple of my private clients that, maybe you should take a shot on Atlanta to win it all, or at least to get to the finals, because they had that mojo and they really dominated the Knicks, winning 4 out of 5 games. And there they go. And they beat Philadelphia. And now here they are with a lead over Milwaukee. Now, I don't know if it's going to get there, because I sat and went against them. I came against the team, which I said has a good chance of making it. But I thought the odds were good on them. And I like their energy and I like their attitude. This Atlanta team talks, about how much confidence they have and how much the more you disrespect them, the more they get buoyed and seem to play well. So they're really doing a great job. And I just hope that we get the cash here in this game too.
Yeah, they're definitely ahead of schedule. There's no 2 ways about it. I don't think too many people would have predicted Atlanta would be a number 5 seed in the East before the season began, let alone be in the Eastern Conference Finals with a 1-0 lead on the road. So all good points, Chipper. And again, you can find Chip at chipwins.com. Find me at rbwins.com. 2 handicappers that have a combined 60 years of experience in the sports betting industry, and 2 handicappers with longevity and a winning track record. It's rbwins.com and chipwins.com. Until the next time, folks, good luck and God bless.